Oh, I'm supposed to film a video now. Oh, right. There are a few things in life that stick with us quite as much as knowledge from our parents. Life lessons, if you will. These things, they just tend to stick with you for years and years and years and years. There are a few lessons that my dad taught me growing up that I carry with me even today at 28 years old. Things like wearing a good pair of work boots every day to make sure your knees don't hurt.
Where's your pain?
Right here.
And making sure you eat a good breakfast before a long day of making hay.
Into those in every Kellogg's pack. Keep them coming back.
And of course, how to hold a god flashlight in the right spot when you're trying to fix your truck at 10 p.m. on a Sunday evening.
Hold the flashlight right here. Okay? Don't move. Don't move.
Despite all of the critical guidance, there are just some things that good old dad just shook his head at when I bought my first truck. You don't want to do that, he'd say, but he never really explained why. I'm Dustin with the Custom Offsets or Dusty.co on Instagram if that's your thing, and today's video is all about those ever critical, ever crucial, and ever important life lessons we learned from Dad, and today's video answers the question, is ruining your truck actually worth it? If you're new to the channel, then hi, welcome. Thanks for checking us out and for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you need a set of wheels and tires for your truck, like maybe a set of fuels and some Nitto Ridge grapplers because everyone loves the Ridge grappler, then be sure to check us out at customoffsets.com. We've got some of your favorite brands in stock and ready to ship to your door in 10 days or less, which we think is pretty wicked cool, but we're probably biased. You know, it's just the way life works. Also, drop a comment down below about what your biggest mod that ruined your truck was as a kid and what your dad told you about it before you did it, and stay tuned to the last one that we're going to talk about because it's pretty good. Jumping right into things then, one of the first things that my dad told me would ruin my truck would be lifting it. And to an extent, he was absolutely correct in some regard, despite the fact that I thought that I knew better. As a kid, especially as a teenager, we all want super cool trucks. It's just what you want. Everyone wants a 6-inch lifted Silverado with some wicked cool wheels and some 35s when you're a kid. It's just the way it works. However though, when you look at a lift kit, they can get pretty spendy relatively quickly. Even for a leveling kit, you're talking a few $100, and if you want to go bigger than that, the cost goes up very, very exponentially, very quickly. Some of the big boy lift kits that ride like a Cadillac are like $4,000, $5,000, even $6,000, and maybe sometimes even more in some cases. So as resourceful little truck owners that we were or are or is, we tend to find ways to circumvent those issues of not having that kind of money. So one of the very first ways we do that is by cranking torsion keys. While this only applies to IFS trucks or independent front suspension, it works by essentially climbing under your truck with the old M18 fuel impact, grabbing that torsion key bolt with a socket, and then just rattling that until it doesn't ugga-dugga anymore. You just and that's it. While it does technically give you a little more clearance up front for some bigger wheels and tires, here's why you
Today, Junior?
probably don't want to do it, right? The suspension of an IFS truck is designed to have constant pressure on the lower control arms, and that happens by twisting the torsion bar, right? The torsion on the torsion bar from the keys. When you run that little bolt all the way home, just like you're knocking out a grand slam, you completely change the geometry of the suspension, which is not only going to put additional stress on things like ball joints and tie rod ends and stuff like that, but it's also going to make your truck ride like seriously here. I cranked the keys in my 92 half-ton and it literally rode like we took the shocks out and in their place, we just bolted in some 2x4s. It was rough, it was stiff, and it definitely made me like driving my truck a whole lot less than I did when it was stock. Plus, by the time you spend time messing around, getting under there, and then trying to get the bolt unfrozen if you're in the North Woods and the Rust Belt like we are here, and then replacing your ball joints in 1,500 miles because you blew them out because the new angles of your ball joints are just not good, you could have easily saved time and money by just picking up a leveling kit. Leveling kits are just a few $100 from some of the best names in the industry. We're talking Rough Country or BDS, and they're actually designed to raise the front of your truck up, making room for bigger wheels and tires, and overall not completely ruining the entirety of your truck's ride and reliability.
Are you trying to flex on the gram but don't know what fits your truck?
Don't do it wrong. Use the Custom Offsets Gallery. The Custom Offsets Gallery is a collection of 90,000 custom vehicles with all sorts of aftermarket wheel, tire, and suspension details. The best part is, once you find a setup that you like, you can click buy right there and shop from one of the hundreds of thousands of wheels and tires that we have in stock ready to go. Plus, you can have your build looking ready for show season with as low as 0% financing. You guys can check it all out, customoffsets.com. Trust us when you say that you just don't want to crank your keys. Just don't do it. Please, for the love of God. Another one of the big things that didn't directly ruin my truck, but definitely made for some headaches, is buying used tires. To clarify here, we're not talking about picking up a nice set of used tires from your buddy down the road who put 500 miles on them and then decided to go to a 35 instead of a 33 for his truck. We're talking about scrounging Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, if you're old enough to remember what Craigslist was, because that was a real thing back in the day, and finding a pair or even a single used tire in the size you're looking for. So naturally, once you find it, you go scoop it up and bam, you are 1/4 of the way to a new set of tires on your truck. While that sounds good, here's why it's not such a good idea. First of all, the odds of you finding 4 tires in the same size from 4 different people is pretty slim. On top of that, if you did somehow, someway manage to find 4 tires from 4 people in 4 of the same sizes and 4 of the same brand and 4 of the same model, the holy grail of used tires, if you would, there's an even slimmer chance that you're going to have even tread wear on all 4 of them. This means that you're gonna have 1 tire that's like brand new. You're gonna have 2 tires that are 50% because someone did a nasty burnout on them, because we love burnouts, and then you're gonna have 1 tire that's straight up on its last leg, much like my pickup game when I was a single man. Then, once your 1 tire is worn out, you're gonna be back to scrounging the tire listings, driving around town to be stood up by flaky sellers, and all of this while still having tires that aren't keeping you safe if you're trying to make it to the Friday night football game. Regardless if you agree or disagree with old pops, there are a few life lessons that we learned the hard way from thinking that we had it all figured out at 18. When it comes to suspension, it's worth your time to save a few bucks and just invest in a good leveling kit. It's gonna save you a ton of time and a ton of headaches, and you're not gonna have a rough ride. Companies like BDS make leveling kits for almost every truck for just a couple $100, guys. And if it's a lift kit you're after, Rough Country has some of the best bang for your buck lift kits on the market, with many of them just starting over $1,200. And in terms of tires, save yourself the headaches, save yourself the wasted fuel, save yourself the stress and the anxiety and the risk of blowing a tire at 60 and ending up in the pickers someplace on the way to grandma's house for Sunday chicken dinner, and just pick yourself up a nice set of tires from customoffsets.com. If you've got the coin, right, a set of Nitto Ridge grapplers is pretty much one of the most solid options for you in the market. And you know, if you're on a budget, maybe it's a Venom Power Terra Hunter XT that you really want to look at here, because it's still a really solid option for the money. Best part about all that is if you pick them up with a set of wheels, we're going to mount them and balance them, and we'll ship them to your door for free if you pick them up at customoffsets.com. What's one mistake that you guys made that absolutely ruined your truck? Drop a comment down below, and as always, if you need wheels and tires or maybe a lift kit for your truck, check us out at customoffsets.com. With that, I'm Dustin with Custom Offsets. We'll see you guys on the next one. Deuce.